Hi there, and I am Michael Buckoff, the founder-owner and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-Step System to Pass the TOEFL IBT. It's my online course, and today I'm going to listen to some practice tests submitted to me by some of my online TOEFL students. Our first student here is, I'm just going to use abbreviations, SSA. I'm going to go ahead and listen to this one. Hi there, these comments are for SSA, and I am Michael, the founder-owner and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-Step System to Pass the TOEFL IBT. I'm going to listen to your independent speaking practice test number 38. So the question is, when choosing a university, what is the most important thing a person should consider? Give reasons and details to support your response. All right.
Personally, I believe that the ranking of the university is the most important thing. Personally, I believe that the ranking of the university is the most important thing a person should look for when he is going to choose a university.
Okay, so you're saying the ranking?
Because it's indication of the level of education inside the university, and it will help him to get a better job in the future.
All right, so now you have your two support points.
High-ranking universities, for example, Stanford in the medical field will help students to get high level of education, highly advanced courses.
Okay, you're talking about Stanford, right? Let's go back to that. Hold on a minute.
First of all, high-ranking universities, for example, Stanford in the medical field will help students to get high level of education, highly advanced courses, and he will be aware.
Maybe high advanced, more advanced courses, you might say.
Of the recent researches. In addition to that, the certificate from such university will be accepted in different parts of the world, and he will get a job very easily.
Okay, so let's take a look here. So, with delivery, some minor pauses and hesitations in there. So if you want to work more on that, you can go to my pronunciation lessons 41 through 44 on thought groups and blending. Overall, pretty good control of your language use, and you had a good organization for the most part. Would you get a score of 4 on this one? I'm going to say probably not, because of some of your delivery issues. So I'm going to put you at 3.0 out of 4, 23 points out of 30. So as you can see, when I give students comments, the hard part for me is to figure out, for example, in this case, I noticed the student was having some problems with thought groups and blending. So then I gave her a suggestion to go to my website and study thought groups and blending. That's pronunciation lessons 41 through 44. That is the hard part. It's hard to train people to figure out what exactly is holding the person back in his or her speaking. And then how do they fix that problem? You can't just tell them they have a problem. I have to figure out how to fix it, how the student can improve in that area, and what kinds of lessons can the student do to get better. That's the key right there for TOEFL speaking, to figure that out. All right, let's go to the next one here. Okay, my next student, I'm going to Shembesh, one of my favorite all-time students. This guy took the TOEFL several times. He got 23 every time. He needs to get 24 points or higher on the speaking. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to go ahead and talk to him here. Okay, here we go. Yeah, hi there. These comments are for Shembesh, and I am Michael, the founder-owner and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass a TOEFL IBT. So you're answering independent speaking practice test number 89. Talk about an event in your past that you would like to relive. Describe the original event and explain why you would like to relive it. Interesting question.
I do believe that my graduation day from college is the event I would like to relive it. It was an overwhelming feeling and...
Wait a minute. It's an event that I would like to relive. There's no need to put it at the very end of that sentence because you're using what's called a noun clause. Even though you didn't say that, you're implying it, and that replaces that pronoun at the end. So you just say graduating from high school is an event I would like to relive, or an event that I would like to relive. That's going to be a better way to say that.
Since emotions, I would like to live it again. I remember 6 years ago when I was standing in front of the university with my colleagues and friends.
I'd say they're colleagues, with my colleagues.
Taking the memorial picture of at our ceremony. It was an overwhelming feeling full of joy, cheer, and happiness. I never forget this experience. Moreover, after extensive 6 years of studying at medical school, after hardship, after difficult time.
After 6 years of extensive study, not extensive 6 years of, I would put extensive, after 6 years of extensive study, put it right before, I think, study. That's where that adjective belongs there. So that's a word order issue.
Ups and downs. After passing so many exams, I was finally able to graduate and get my degree.
Good. So you got it all in there. So you answered the question. So here you had some delivery or language use issues, you know, with that pronoun it, and then the word order problem with extensive, and that's it. Everything else was pretty good. So you have mostly good control of your grammar and your vocabulary. You had a good organization with relevant supporting detail. These things are good for you. Delivery, you maybe had some minor issues there, but it was okay. The question is, can you get a 4 on this? I'm going to say maybe. So I'm going to put you at about 24 to 26 points out of 30 on this. I think it's possible you might get a score 4 on this, which would obviously, if you can get a 4 on at least 3 or 4 of your speaking tasks, and then a 3 on maybe 2 or 3 of them, that should give you enough points to get you over the 24 that you're looking for. All right? Anyway, thank you very much, Shambash. Keep up the good work, buddy. Yeah, this guy he's really close. I mean, you just heard his practice test. He's very close, I think, toward reaching his goal. He needs to get a score 4 on maybe 3 of his speaking tasks. If he could get a 3 on 3 of them, he should be very close to 24 points, which is what he's looking for. So in that case, he was having some problems with adjective clauses and word order. Alright, let's check out the next one. I feel like I need to take a nap. It's only 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Man. Wow. Okay, this student is a little bit higher level. Her name is Dieta79. She needs to get 26 points or higher. In my opinion, she's very close to that goal. I think she will reach it, hopefully this month. She's really practiced hard. I mean, super hard. Hi there, these comments are for Dieta79, and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass a TOEFL IBT. So in your case, you have a question here. When you have a lot of homework, do you prefer to complete the assignments in the library or at your apartment, dorm, or house, and why? Okay. So what are your strategies when you have a lot of homework?
Whenever I have a lot of homework, I prefer to finish my assignments in the library rather than at home because I can focus more and because I have an access to a lot of materials.
That's good. It only took you 13 seconds, which is a little bit long, but you restated the question, you stated your argument, you included 2 supporting points. That's a good strategy. Now you need to develop these ideas.
First of all, I can focus more in the library.
Okay.
For example, when I was
I can say I can focus more in the library when I'm completing my homework assignments. If you can say that, you exactly connect that back to the purpose of the
in high
task.
school, I tried many times to finish my homework at home. I found that I would easily get distracted by phone calls from my friends. However, in the library, I have nothing to do except focusing on my studies.
I would have nothing to do except focus on my studies. That's why I would say that instead of except focusing.
Moreover, in the library, I have an access to a lot of materials. For instance,
Let's go back to your transition, see how you move from your first support point to your
in
second.
the library, I have nothing to do except focusing on my studies.
See, except focus, not focusing.
Moreover, in the library, I have an access to a lot of materials.
Moreover, I also like to study in the library when I have homework because of the access I have to the materials.
For instance, when
Now, I know you don't want to say that because it takes too long, and I understand your argument, but you do want to make sure it's easy to understand how your ideas are connected, especially at key junctures. A key juncture data is when you're moving from your first support point to your second support point. We need to see how these 2 big ideas are connected back to the purpose of the speaking.
in university, I had to submit a biology report every week. Therefore, I used to go to the library to collect a lot of information that helped me a lot to get very good assignments, which is why I feel this way.
All right, I think overall you're pretty strong in all the areas, so delivery you didn't really have any major issues there, I think. You're able to explain your ideas fairly clearly. Language use, the one problem I had, except focus, instead of except focusing, I would use the verb after except, not the gerund. Topic development, there are 1 or 2 cases where you could probably better connect your ideas a little bit more, but still I think it's a good response. I'm going to put you at about 24 to 26 points out of 30 on this speaking practice test. Okay, got a couple more to score here. Okay, let's see. So I have 2 more to score here. This next guy, Marcelak, I will call him. Boy, is he working hard. This guy sends me speaking and writing practice tests every day. My experience, check this out for a minute, is I had a student named Rasa a while back, and he did 35 writing practice tests in about 2.5 months. And guess what? His writing score increased from, what was it? It was like 21, 22 points out of 30 in the beginning. He went all the way to 29. Man. So just, even if nobody even grades your writing, it's hard to believe this, but if you just keep practicing writing day by day by day, makes a very big difference. And guess what with this Rasa? He increased his TOEFL score from 82 to 105. And that student, I'll never forget. Now, not everybody improves like that, of course. I'm just giving that example because I remember him. I remember the students who really, really improved a lot because I know how hard they worked at my online course because I can keep track of all their material. I can follow their when they log on. I can tell what assignments they're doing or not doing, and the people who score higher, they really work really hard. Okay, let's see what this guy has here. So this is a independent speaking practice test. Okay, hi, Marcelak, and I am Michael, the founder owner. You know who I am. Of the 7-step system to pass a TOEFL IBT, your online TOEFL course, and you have continued your furious pace of completing writing and speaking practice tests. I'm telling you, just keep doing what you're doing. Do a lot of writing, a lot of speaking. You keep practicing every day, you will get better. You have no choice. I'm telling you. All right, so you did speaking practice test number 11, right? Independent speaking number 11. So your friend doesn't know what to study at the university. What would you advise him to do?
If my friend didn't know what to study at the university, I would suggest him to take a test and assist some courses.
Good. You actually used better grammar than what I had in the actual speaking prompt. I love that. So you're saying if my friend didn't know what to study, I would. So you're using those past tense verbs to talk about a present impossible situation. So very good choice of verb tenses to speak hypothetically. This is going to give you some good points on this one.
First of all, taking a test which is consisted by questions for different...
I would just say which consists of, not which is consisting of, or which, whatever. I would just say which consists of.
It will be useful for him because he will know in which area he is more capable.
Okay.
Furthermore, assistant...
Now, how do you develop that idea a little bit more? You might say, well, if the student takes a writing test and then the instructor tells him that he needs to improve his introduction and write a more specific thesis, the student can now identify those weaknesses. So you need to be a little more specific as you elaborate on that idea. Now, if you feel like you don't have enough time, then just focus on one big idea and then give a lot of supporting details for that. That's better than bringing up two big points but not elaborating on any one of them.
Some courses are another option. So the result will be that my friend will know in which subject he is more intelligent. For instance, the result will be that my friend will know in which subject.
Will knowing? I think you're having trouble with that ing thing. So let's talk about the rule for a minute here. Let me show you something. I'll write it on a piece of paper for you. Hopefully you can see this. Okay, the basic rule is this. If you're using the be verb, you need to use the ing form of that verb also. You see that? So you can't say will knowing. I would just say will know or would know. That's going to be better there. So be careful about your verb tenses.
He is more intelligent. For instance, if he knows a lot of mathematics, engineering will be his career. So because of...
What will be his career? I'm trouble understanding that.
He is more intelligent. For instance, if he knows a lot of mathematics, engineering will be his career.
A general will be his career? I'm not exactly sure what you're saying there.
Because of those reasons, I would advise him that.
Okay, the conclusion wasn't that great, right? You ran out of time. So I think you're having some delivery issues. I know you're working in the pronunciation part of my course, so I think you need to keep working in that area. Language use, you had that problem with. If you're using a modal like would or will, I would just use the base form of the verb after that. Don't worry about using the ing. So you just say would know, my friend would know, as opposed to saying would knowing. But part of that could be a pronunciation problem. Maybe I didn't hear correctly what you're saying, and I thought you had a language use issue, when in reality maybe it was a delivery issue. But it doesn't matter. An issue is an issue, right? You're making me work too hard. That's the problem. I'm having to work too hard to try to understand what you're saying. That's not what you want me to have to do. Your score here, I'm going to put you, looking at the rubrics here, 2.5 out of 4, 19 points out of 30 on this practice test. Okay, I think I got 2 more here. My oh my, I gotta check this email. Uh-oh, I'm in trouble. It says about 6 days ago I submitted my independent speaking test number 8. It has not been scored. I don't know what to do. My Voxipop name is MySom. Oh, I don't know, maybe I missed it. Let me go back to my website. I gotta go back. The student said 6 days ago. I thought I scored them all. That's another thing. That's the other problem. I'm not perfect. Sometimes I miss. Student will send me something or they'll post something online. I miss it. So I'm going to see if I can figure out where this thing was posted. It said 6 days ago. I got it. Whew. So yeah, I don't do them 6 days. I do them within 24 hours. So that's why the student is upset. So I got to do a really, really good evaluation of this one. Yeah, hi there. These comments are for MySom, and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass a TOEFL IBT. I apologize for missing your independent speaking practice test number 8. I have no excuse. I just missed it. So I'm going to listen to it right now. So you say, which of the following do you prefer? Working for a small company or working for a big company?
Having a better insurance plan and a company's fame are 2 most important reasons which make me choose bigger company over smaller companies.
Now wait a minute. I think we got some language use issues here. I'm going to listen to it again.
Having a better insurance plan and a company's fame are 2 most important.
That. Campaign something. Either it's a word stress issue or what, but I'm having to listen to it 2 times. I still don't know exactly what you're saying.
Reasons which make me choose bigger company over smaller companies. In first position,
Okay.
I think bigger companies.
In the first position, I would just say first of all, or first, just say that.
Provide a better insurance plan for their employees, which cause employees to feel safer during working.
How about more secure? It makes them feel more secure because if something happens to the employee, then the employee knows that his or her family will be taken care of because of the lucrative insurance policy. You need to say something like that to really elaborate on that idea.
And bigger companies have bigger names, and their fame is very important for me because when I talk to one of my friends and he asked me where I'm working in,
He asked me.
Important for me because when I talk to one of my friends,
Using past tense, when I talk to one of my friends,
and he asked me where I'm working in,
and he asked me where I was working. So when you're reporting speech, I will use past tense verbs there to do that. So he asked me where I was working. Don't say where I was working in. or where I was working at. Once you use where, there's no need to use any preposition after that. So he asked me where I was working.
I can name a big company's name, and personally it's very important for me. And these two reasons make me choose working in bigger companies.
Okay, I would say these three reasons make me choose working for a bigger company. Okay, so let's go to the rubrics here. We need to figure out how to score this. I think some intelligibility issues, maybe with, if it's the word fame, and in the beginning you had some problems there. As I pointed out, you had several language use issues. So what you can do here, if you go to Google, put noun clauses and reported speech. Or put verb tenses, comma, noun clauses, comma, and reported speech. If you use those keywords, you can find some good websites that will help you understand how you can express those ideas, keeping everything grammatically correct. All right, so Masam, on this one, I'm going to put you to about 2.5 out of 4, 19 points out of 30 on this practice test. Hopefully he won't be too angry once I give him these comments. But maybe because I scored him so low, he might not be happy either. But it is what it is, isn't it? That's one thing, got to be honest. If the student has good speaking, it is. I will say that. If it's not, I have to say that. I have to be very direct in giving my students the feedback that they need so they can understand what they need to do to get better. I think I have one more here I can do. So far today I've had 3 people who joined my course. One came from Europe, one came from the Middle East, and another came from Asia, China, I believe. Okay, let's keep going here. So I'm going to send him a quick message. The other thing is to be nice and admit mistakes. That's what I'm doing right here. I'll read the email in just a minute. I just told him, I said, I just listened to and scored your speaking practice test. Thank you for the reminder because I had totally forgotten about your speaking practice test. Please accept my apologies. Okay, I think we're good here. And I have it, what time is this? 12:23, no, 1 o'clock today. I'm teaching English 306, expository writing from 1 to 4:50. Wow, and that is tough. I try not to make it too boring. Michael, please don't bore your students. That's what I'm saying to myself right now. Okay, let's go to independent speaking practice test number 67. Yeah, hi there. These comments are for SSA, and I am Michael, the founder owner and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL IBT. And let's take a look. It's an independent speaking practice test, number 67, right? Name an influential figure who has inspired you. Describe the person and explain why he or she inspired you so much. All right. Here we go.
The person that inspired me the most is Helen Keller. She's an American author and political activist. She inspired me because she's deaf and blind, and she was able to get a degree in art. This gives me the impression that person has unlimited capability, and with his wellness he will be able to do whatever he wants. For example, when I came to the United States, it was really difficult.
Now what I would do here is I would spend a little more time describing Helen Keller, talking about how the researchers found her or whatever, how she couldn't communicate and so on, and then how she was able to reach a very high level of intelligence even with her physical disabilities. So I think describing her, that part of the question, you didn't do a great job on.
For me to understand the accent, and I couldn't communicate with persons. But I decided to achieve my goal here. So I started with attending different conversation groups. And also I took a course in a center for English as a second language.
Now what I would do is, I don't know, it says describe the person, explain why he or she's inspired you so much. You need to stay focused on the figure. You're moving into this example, you're spending too much time in this other area. I mean, it's kind of relevant, but I would stay focused on Helen Keller. So just focus on her life, her situation. The examples you use are to illustrate more why she is an important figure and why she is an inspiration to you.
And nowadays, I have a lot of American friends and I can communicate easily.
No, and because of Helen Keller, I am able to be more determined in my life today. You have to end at something like that. You have to connect what you're saying back to the speaking prompt. You didn't really describe her that well. You did talk about why she's, or how she's inspired you, but then you went into that example and you didn't tie it back to the purpose of the speaking task. That's where what you're missing, I think, on this response. So I'm giving you some comments with topic development, right? That's kind of what I'm saying. So your score here, I'm going to put you at about 2.5 out of 4, 19 points out of 30 on this practice test. Okay, I think I have it. That's it. So I just graded some practice tests at least before I go to teach my